dear Dr. Harper. We've been talking all week about the sermon that you gave last Sunday. It's truly wonderful how in only 2 short years you've managed to capture the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying to hear, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
Not yet, dear. Our biscuit's good.
Oh, Molly!
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No. I'll have no appetite for dinner. I always have too many of those biscuits to taste that lovely jar.
But you haven't tried the quiz. We always put a little apple with it to take the time.
No.
We'll send you over for a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure to have your biscuits with it.
I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble. It may not be very charitable of me, but I'm coming to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe was on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, sir.
Point your gun the other way.
Now, Teddy.
No, to the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy, Japan.
Teddy.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm sorry, Aunt Abby. Much less talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war anymore. Would you like another cup of tea?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must say, Miss Abby, that war and violence seems far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight. Good manners and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Except for the electricity, which we use as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems only to live by electric light.
Poor boy. He has to work so late. I understand he's taking Elaine with him to the theatre tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a little later on.
Delighted.
Yes, we're glad it's Elaine that Mortimer takes to the theatre with him.
Yes, Miss Abby. I must say it's a new experience for me to be waiting up until 3 o'clock in the morning for me daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I, since it was in our house that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby. And so I'll say immediately that I believe your nephew Mortimer to be a worthy gentleman. But I must also say that I watched the growing intimacy between them with some trepidation, and for one reason only.
Oh, you mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's troubled with it, so poor dear.
No, Miss Abby. I'll be frank with you. It's your nephew's unfortunate connection to the theatre.
The theatre? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
No, I know, Miss Abby, I know. And a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theatre. And I've got no doubt but what some of them do develop an interest in.
Not Mortimer. I can assure you of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theatre.
Really?
Yes, he writes the most awful things about it. But you can't blame the poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then they make him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theatre can't last much longer anyway. And in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, I think if we give the theatre another year or two, perhaps. Who do you suppose that can be? No, thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Ah, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. O'Hara?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen, at ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper.
We've come for the toys, the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I must say it's splendid work you men do, fixing up those old discarded toys to give the poor children a happier Christmas.
It gives us something to do when we have to sit around the station. You get tired playing cards, then you start cleaning your gun, and the next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room.
Charge!
How's Mrs. Brophy today? Mrs. Brophy's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Oh, she's fine now. All better.
I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Oh, don't bother. You've done so much for her already.
I made it this morning. Sister Martha is over giving some to poor Mr. Benitsky right now. Won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She really shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try and stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
Yes. When I received McCall to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well. Before she died and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I know the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
I am calling a meeting of my cabinet in order to get the release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, there's nothing to harm with him. He's fine.
And suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a hell of a lot worse people he could think he was.
Damn shame. Nice family like this, raising a cuckoo.
You know, I heard the old girl's grandfather, Teddy's grandfather, he was some kind of genius, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house here as a sort of clinic, tried him out on people.
Heard he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
Farmer never bothered him much because he was quite useful on autopsies sometimes, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left the girl set for life. Thank God for that.
Well, they never spend any of it on themselves.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know a tenth of it. You know, when I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, we was working this case with this old man that we never did find. You know, they've got this house in a renting agency for furnished rooms. No, they don't rent rooms, but you can bet anyone who comes in here looking for a room goes away with a hot meal and probably a few dollars in their kick.
Just their way of digging up some people to do some good to.
Oh, well, now isn't this nice?
Hello, Miss Brewster.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper. Oh, Mr. O'Hara.
Hello, Miss Brewster. We dropped in to get the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes. Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all packed.
Oh, Teddy's upstairs after them already. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, I do hope Mrs. Brophy's feeling better.
She's doing fine. Your sister's in the kitchen getting me some soup for me to take to her.
Yes, we made it this morning. I just took some to a poor gentleman who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How's poor Mr. Benitsky?
Well, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. They're going to amputate in the morning.
Oh, can we be present?
No. I did ask, but he said it was against the rules of the hospital.
Well, you couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Make sure it's good enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, these here will be fine. The O'Malley boy's nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I've retired him. What's this? The Oregon?
Teddy, dear, put it back.
No, the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
Oh, I've promised fighting Bob Evans.
Oh, but Teddy.
Who does it matter which kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Lizzie Cohen. We'll run along, and thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I must be getting along as well.
Charge!
Before you go, Doctor.
Charge the blockhouse! Blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him to use someone else other than Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, many years ago, remember, Martha? We thought if you could be George Washington for a change, it might be...
But, you know, he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, so long as you're happy, and more importantly, he's happy, you'll see that he signs these.
Oh, what are they?
Oh, Dr. Harper has made all the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happy Dale Sanatorium after we pass on.
Oh, but why should Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it settled now. If the good Lord should take you away suddenly, we may not be able to persuade Teddy to commit himself, and that would mean an unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands that to be filed away until the time comes.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's a superintendent of Happydale.
Oh,
And Dr. Harper has arranged for him to pop in tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
oh.
Anyway, I best be getting along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Oh, yes.
Good day.
Give Elaine our love. And Dr. Harper, please don't think too badly of Mortimer, because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Good day.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late too.
Oh, so why?
Teddy, I have good news for you. You're going to dig another lock in the canal.
Delighted, oh that's bully, just bully. I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
While I was out.
Oh, yes, I couldn't wait any longer. I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming.
Oh, but all by yourself.
Oh, I got along fine.
Oh, well, I'll run downstairs and see.
No. There was no time, and I was all alone.
Well?
Come and have a look in the window.
Oh!
Oh. Who that can be? Oh, Elaine.
Oh,
Hello, Miss Abby.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Miss Martha? Oh, I thought Father was meant to be here.
he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Is Mortimer here?
No, dear, not yet.
Oh, well, he asked me to meet him here. Would you mind if I waited?
Not at all.
Come on. Why don't you sit down?
But we really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her place.
Oh, there's something about calling for a young lady at a parsonage that discourages any young man who doesn't embroider.
He's done it too often. We're going to talk with him.
Oh, please don't, Miss Abby. After gentlemen whose idea of nightlife is prayer meetings, it's very nice to get to go to the theatre every night of my life.
Well, it's comforting for us too, because if Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Elaine, my goodness, what must you think of us not having the tea cleared away by this time?
Now, don't do anything in the kitchen until Mortimer gets here, and then I'll help you.
Thank you.
Mortimer should be here any minute now, dear.
Yes, although I really should go and speak to Father and tell him not to wait up for me.
Oh, it's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, please tell him that I'll be right back.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Mort.
Mwah. Hello, Elaine.
Oh, Mortimer! Abby, Mortimer's here.
Are you going somewhere?
Just to tell Father not to wait up.
I didn't know they were still doing that sort of thing.
Even in Brooklyn.
hello, Mortimer.
Oh, hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you?
Very well. You look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
It was yesterday, wasn't it? We've seen a great deal of you lately. Well, Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? You know, the tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things, yes. Well, you just make yourselves at home.
Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you would say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I'm not particularly hungry. Don't mind.
Well, I just had breakfast, so let's say we skip dinner until after the show.
That'll make it pretty late though, won't it?
Oh, this little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard, we'll be out of there in Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You really should be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
Well, I've never seen you walk out of a musical.
Oh, that musical's not opening tonight.
No?
No, dear, you have to learn how these things work. With a musical, there's always at least 4 changes in title and 3 postponements. You know, they like it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
I was really hoping it was going to be a musical.
Ah, you have such a light mind.
Not a bit of it. Musicals have a humanising effect on you. When we go and see a serious play, we're in the subway with the proletariat and you're lecturing me on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi. And you make me pass.
Now, darling, that is a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Well, I will admit, after the Berman play, you did say I had authentic beauty. Which is a hell of a thing to say to a lady, but it wasn't until after a musical that you said I had nice legs.
You know, for a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn that?
In the choir loft.
I'll explain it to you one day, dear. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never gets as high as a choir loft. Which reminds me, I really should go and tell Father not to ever.
I've never been able to rationalise it.
What?
Me falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
No, the only way I'm going to be able to keep my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
Yes, I'm convinced you're holding out for the legalities.
Well, I can't afford to be a good girl for a few years yet.
Well, I can't wait that long. Where's somewhere we could get married in a hurry, say, tonight?
Oh! You know, Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, God. Oh, God, your father could even make the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Oh, forgive me, darling, it's an occupational disease. Although, I might have to give that play tonight a good review.
Don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to tell your father not to wait up.
Actually, I think tonight I should tell him to wait up.
Oh, telephone Winchell to publish the band.
Yes.
All right, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Oh, darling! I'll tell Father and we'll set the date right away.
Actually, no, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be lots of other openings.
Hello, Mortimer!
Oh, how are you, Mr. President?
Oh, bully, thank you. Just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He's digging box in the canal.
You are so good with him. And he's very fond of you, too.
Yeah. He always was my favourite brother.
Favourite? Are there more of you?
Yes. There's another brother, Jonathan.
Really? Your aunts have never mentioned him.
No, I don't like to talk about Jonathan. I left Brooklyn very early by request. He was the sort of boy who liked to chop worms in half with his teeth.
Ew. What became of him?
Well, I always wanted to be a surgeon like grandfather, but he just wouldn't go to medical school. So his practice got him into a bit of trouble.
Aren't you going to be late for the theatre?
Oh, no. No, we're going to skip dinner, so we won't have to leave for about half an hour.
Oh, well, I'll leave you two alone together again.
No, don't worry. I really should go over and speak to Father. Before I go out with Mortimer, he likes to say a prayer over me.
Well, the prayer doesn't last too long. I'll have time to lead you by distilled waters.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. We knew Eli would be a Yeah.
You know, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling, Martha, come here, quickly. I've got the most wonderful news. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married.
Oh, married! Oh, Mortimer!
We hoped it would happen just like this.
Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Just look at her, leaping over those gravestones. You haven't seen a large envelope hanging around here, have you? It's got one of the chapters of my book on Thoreau.
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
When are you going to be married? What are your plans? Surely there's something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Oh yes, Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was it?
A chapter on Thoreau.
Oh. When Elaine comes back, we must have a little celebration. We need to drink to their happiness. Isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Yes. Oh, and to think it happened in this room.
Where could I have put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting next to you tonight, I do hope the play is something you can enjoy for once. It might be something romantic. What's it called?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Good Lord. That curtain opens, the first thing you're going to see is a dead body.
Abby, Aunt Martha, could you come in here?
yes, dear. What is it?
You know how we had plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale?
Yes, Dr. Harper came today, made all the arrangements for Teddy to go after we passed on. He brought the papers, here they are.
Okay, he's got to sign them right away, okay? He's down the cellar, he's got to come up here and sign these right away.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that.
No, when Teddy's down there digging in Panama, you can't get his mind on anything else.
Yeah, look, Teddy's got to go to Happydale now, tonight.
Oh, no, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you. Right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? As long as we live, we'll not be separated from Teddy.
Okay. Darlings, I have some frightfully awful news, but we've all just got to try and keep our heads, okay? Now, you know how we've always sort of humoured Teddy because we thought he was harmless?
Oh, why, he is harmless.
Yes, he was harmless, and that's why he's got to go to Happydale, why he's got to be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly taken against Teddy, your own brother?
Oh, God, you're going to have to find out about it one way or the other. Might as well be from me. Teddy's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
I know. Yes, dear, I know.
You know?
Yes, of course, but it's nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, just forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman. Forget? We never dreamed you'd peek.
But who is he?
His name's Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him. Except he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him, but what happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men don't just crawl into window seats and die.
He died first.
But how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. He died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
But how did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put it in the wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odour.
You put it in the wine.
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
And you knew what you'd done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not at tea time. That would have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. Just forget about it. I do think Martha and I have a right to our own interests.
And don't you tell Elaine. Oh, and Abby, while I was out, I called in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, but she'd like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, we must do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time let's go where we want to go. I'm not having Junior drag me to another one of those scary pictures.
Oh, I'll come and help you in a minute, Martha. Mortimer. I feel so much better now that you know. You've got to wait for Elan, don't you? How happy you must be. Well, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, yes, Al. How are you doing there, Al? Yes, good. That's Maud. How's things? Al, I didn't happen to say where I was going when I left the office there, did I? Yes. I was coming here, wasn't I? Yes. And what time have you got there, Al? Yes. It would take me about half an hour to get here, wouldn't it? I am here, aren't I? Okay, goodbye, Al. Goodbye. Oh. Yes. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha.
Yes, dear, what is it?
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
Oh, I can't turn you over to the police, but what am I going to do?
Oh, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
Yeah.
But Mr. Hotchkiss,
Hoskins, dear.
or whatever his name is, you can't just leave him in there.
Oh, we don't intend to.
No, Teddy's down in the cellar now digging the lock.
Put Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar.
Oh, yes, dear. That's what we did with the others.
You can't put Mr. Hotchkiss in the others.
The other gentleman.
And by others, you mean others. More than one others.
Oh, yes. Let me see. This makes 11 now, doesn't it, Abby?
No, this makes 12.
Oh, Abby, I think you're wrong. I think it's only 11.
No, dear, because I remember distinctly when Mr. Hoskins walked in, it occurred to me that he would make just an even dozen.
Oh, but you really can't count the first one.
Well, I have counted the first one, and that makes 12.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Al? Oh, yes, I know, Al. I'm fine. I'm sorry for the luck. I'm just feeling a bit purendella. You wouldn't understand. Listen, Al, I can't go and see that play tonight. Oh, no, something's come up. No, Al, you're wrong. I can't.
And they're
no,
all
Al,
down in the cellar.
No, you're just going to have to get George to do it, Al. No, Al, it's fine apart, but I'm running, so you get George to do it. That's fine. Yes, goodbye, Al. Okay. Right, that's all sorted then. 12?
Yes, Abby seems to think we should count the first one, so that makes 12.
Okay. Right. So, who was the first one?
Oh, his name was Mr. Midgley. That's right. He was a Baptist.
Yes, of course, I still think we can't claim full credit for him, because he just died.
What Martha means is without any help from us. You see, he came here looking for a room.
Oh, it was right after you moved to New York.
And it seemed such a pity to let that lovely room go to waste when there were so many people who needed it.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, which left him so sad and forlorn.
We felt so sorry for him.
And then, when his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair, we made up our minds then and there that if we could help other old gentlemen to that same peace, we would.
So he just came in here and died on that chair. How awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. Why, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather used to always have a cadaver or two around the house. You see, Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
Which meant he had to be buried immediately.
So, we all took him down to Panama, and we put him in the lock. So that's why we told you not to worry, because we know exactly what has to be done.
He just walked in here and died on that chair.
Of course, we realised we couldn't count on that happening again. So,
You know all those jars of poison on the shelves of Grandfather's laboratory for all these years?
and you know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. We've eaten enough of her piccalilli.
Well, for a gallon of elderberry wine, you take a teaspoon of arsenic, half a teaspoon of strychnine, and a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite the kick.
Oh, yes. Indeed, one of our gentlemen found time to say, how delicious.
Well, I really must get things started in the kitchen.
I wished you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying a new recipe.
Couldn't eat a thing.
I'll come and help you in a moment, dear. Well, I feel so much better now. You waiting for Elaine still? I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, God. Oh, it's you.
Yes, darling. Oh, don't be mad. I told Father about us, and, well, kept me back a little bit, but darling, he's not going to wait up for us tonight.
Yes. Listen, Lan, something's come up, and you just run along home, and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. You know, I also call you up every day, I'll do.
But we're going to the theatre tonight.
No, we're not.
Why? What's happened? Mortimer, have you lost your job?
No. Ugh, no, I haven't lost my job. It's just that something's come up, and you just need to run along home now.
But what's happened? Surely you can tell me.
No, I can't.
If we're to be married...
Married?
15 minutes ago you proposed to me.
Oh, yeah. I did. You know, as far as I know, that's still on. Now, you run along home.
No, you cannot propose to me 1 minute and throw me out of the house the next.
Throwing you out of the house. No, you get out.
I will not get out of here. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Yes, over this way. Yes. Hello, Al. Yes, Al, can I wait a minute? Yes, Al, I know it's important, but can I wait a minute? Yes, good. I'll give you a call back, Al. Goodbye. Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, Lane, you're a sweet girl, and I love you very much, but I just need you to run along home, and I'll call you up later.
Don't try to be masterful.
Hello. We're married, and I have problems to face. I hope you are going to be less tears and uninspired.
Well, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Oh! Is it? Elaine! Really? Yes, Alice, I'm
That's
calling
the
you.
doorbell, dear, not the telephone. Oh, I can do it. Just it.
I understand you have a room for rent.
Yes. Why don't you come in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Oh, yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
Oh, I'm Mr. Gibbs.
Hello. See you desk? Al.
Won't you sit down?
I'd really like to
I'm
see...
sorry, we're just setting the table for dinner.
Oh, I'd really like to see the room.
Oh, why don't you sit down a minute and let's get
City
acquainted?
desk. What?
Well, that won't be much good if I don't like the room.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. I live in a hotel, and I don't like it.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got any family.
See you desk, Al.
Oh,
All alone.
in the world.
Yeah.
Oh well. Listen, Al, I can't go and see that play tonight. I can't tell you why. And
Come to just the right place. Sit down.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
Presbyterian. Well, used to be.
what's George doing in Bermuda? Well, yes, I told him he could go. It's my apartment, isn't it? Oh, come on, Al, there's got to be somebody else.
Is it always this noisy?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
That boy came through the office. Get him to do it.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs. Why don't you try a glass of wine before we start up?
No, I never touched the stuff.
Oh, we make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Oh, elderberry wine.
What about get
I
Joe?
haven't had elderberry wine since I was a boy.
Down.
Oh, yes, please. I'll have a go at that.
Go on.
Do you grow your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
Al, I just can't. No, I've not been drinking. I'm going to start now.
Do you serve meals?
Oh, we might, but first see whether you like our wine. No, not that.
Oh! Oh! What are you doing? You madman! Do you want to die? Do you want to be murdered? Get out! Get out! Out! Out!
Now you've spoiled everything.
Oh, you can't do things like that. But I don't think it's against the law. It's wrong. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Oh, Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
What I'm trying to say is, this has turned into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try and stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should try and stop us.
Yes, Al? Fine, Al, I'll go and see it, but I'm only watching the first act. I'm going to pan the hell out of it. Okay. Now, Al, you need to do something for me. You need to get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer. The legal department! Oh, all right. Get him to meet me at the theatre. Do not let me down, Al. Do you hear me? O'Brien, meet me at the theatre, okay?
And
All right.
you're all downstairs.
Okay. I've got to go to see this play. I can't get out of it. But while I'm gone, I need you to do one little thing for me.
Well, we'd have to know what it was first.
Well, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is and do not let anyone in the house.
But why?
Because I've got a little bit to think about and I just need some time to think. So you'll do this for me, yes?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Yeah.
Services?
Yes. Why, you don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? He was a Methodist.
Can't wait till I get back.
Oh, so you'll join us? Oh, Mortimer, you love the services. Especially the hymns. Do you remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
Yes. Anyway, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, yes, we can, now that Mortimer's cooperating. It's all right, Mortimer.
Okay, good. Okay, now, I just need... Do you have anything I could write a review on?
Yes, and Stacey, will that do?
Perfect. That's good. Now, and it's okay, because I can save some time if I write my review on the way to the theatre.
Oh, Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, it's understandable. I think I know why.
Oh, why?
Well, he just got engaged to be married. I think that can always make a man a little nervous.
Oh, I'm so happy for Elaine. Their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer.
Well, at least he didn't go off kiting to China or Spain.
Oh, I could never understand why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer the theatre always seemed rather small potatoes. He needs something big to criticise, something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's going to join us for the services, we'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
Oh, Martha, it's really my turn to read the services. But since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I'd like you to do it.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Are you sure?
It's only fair.
Oh, well, I'll wear my black lace and Mother's old brooch.
Oh, I'll go.
Oh, remember, we promised not to let anyone in.
Who do you suppose it is?
I don't know. I'll go and look. Oh, it's two men. I've never seen them before. I'm sure. There's a car at the curb. I think they came in that. Hey, look. Have a look. Do you recognise them?
Oh, they're strangers to me.
Or we'll have to pretend we're not home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout. Yeah.
Yes, my family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I do hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm hungry. Oh, look, Johnny drinks.
As though we were expecting.
What are you doing?
Why?
Why are you here?
Aunt Abby. Aunt Martha. It's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
I'm Jonathan, your nephew Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan.
But
So
I
don't
am.
pretend you are. Just get out of here.
But I am Jonathan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
I'm not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
You're not our nephew Jonathan. So just get out.
But I see that you're still wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought for you in England. And you, Aunt Martha, still the high neck collar to hide the scars from when Grandfather's acid burnt you.
Oh, well, his voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, Dr. Einstein's responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
I'd seen that face before. Abby, do you remember when that little Schultz boy took us to the movie and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. For the last 5 years, I gave Johnny 3 new faces. I gave him another one right away. This last face, well, I saw that picture too just before I operate. And I was intoxicated.
See, Doctor, you see what you've done to me, even my own family.
Oh, Johnny, your home is beautiful house. And how often he tells me about Brooklyn and his aunts he loves so much. They know it's you, Johnny. You know it's Jonathan. Come on, speak to him and tell him so, yeah?
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
England, South Africa, Australia, and the last 5 years, Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
We were in Chicago for the World Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Abby, Martha, you don't look a day older. Just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, did he get into politics? My other brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well too.
Oh, I know about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's very nice to have seen you.
Well, bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Martha, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Oh, yes. If you'll excuse us for a minute, Jonathan. Unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
Come, Martha.
Well, Charlie, we got to think fast. Where do we go from here? The police have got pictures of their face too. I got to operate on you right away. We got to find a place for that. And we got to find a place for Mr. Spinalzo too.
Oh, don't waste any water on that rat.
But Charlie, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget about Mr. Spinalzo.
But you can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat. Oh, you shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice fellow. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said, I look like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did this to me.
Johnny, we find a place somewhere. Now fix you up quick, yeah?
Tonight.
Tonight, Johnny. I'm hungry. I've got to eat first. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're very glad that you remembered us and took the time to come and say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it. So we've just come in to say goodbye.
Aunt Abby, I can't say that your feelings towards me come as a surprise. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how busy we were in passing through Brooklyn, I'd bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jonathan, but I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Oh, Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Pot roast?
I think the least we can
Why,
do
thank
is-
you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, we'll hurry it along.
Yes.
If you want to freshen up, you could use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory.
Is that still there?
Yes, just as he left it. Well, I'll go and help Martha get things started, seeing we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get to meet anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor. A perfect operating room.
Well, too bad you can't use it.
Why, when you finish with me, we could make a fortune here. That old ward in the attic. 10 beds, Doctor. And Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
Why work yourself up, Johnny? Anyway, I think for Brooklyn we're here too late, yeah?
No, you don't know this town, Doctor. Why, practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
But so many of the old faces are locked up, Johnny.
Oh, a very small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn, they're famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but what, after dinner?
You leave it to me, Doctor. I'll handle it. Why, this house will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful, Johnny. I mean, this lovely, quiet house, and those aunts of yours. What sweet ladies. I love them already. I go and get the bags, yeah?
Doctor, we must
what?
wait until we're invited.
What? But you just said
I
that...
will be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old women.
It's like, comes true. A beautiful dream. Only I hope you're not dreaming, Johnny. It's so peaceful, huh?
That's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful. Yes, aunties, those 5 years in Chicago were amongst the busiest and happiest of my life.
And from Chicago we go to South Bend, Indiana.
They wouldn't be interested in our experiences in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure, but we shouldn't have kept you up talking so late.
My meeting Dr. Einstein in London, I might say, changed the whole course of my life. You remember, I had been in South Africa, in the diamond business. There in Amsterdam, the diamond market. Well, I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
Yeah, good job, Johnny. When we take off the bandages, his face looks so different. The nurse had to introduce me.
I love that face. I still carry a picture of it with me.
Well, that's a bit more like the way you used to look, but still, I wouldn't have known you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Oh yeah, I think it's safe now.
Well, I'm sure you would like to get to where you're going to.
My dear aunts, I am so full of that delicious dinner that I am unable to move a muscle.
Yeah, it's so nice here.
Well, after all, it's
I found it! I found it!
And what did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life. My biography. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Colubricut. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, the picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started on Colubricut. We're still digging in the lock. Now, General, you will accompany me to Panama to inspect the new canal.
No, Teddy, no, not to Panama.
We might go there some other time. Panama's a long way off, yeah?
It's just down in the cellar.
The cellar.
Oh, yes, we let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar. It's just down the end of the corridor past the kitchen.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me to Panama to inspect the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Now go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. The face is familiar. Where have I seen it before? Now, you're not anybody I know now. Perhaps later on, one of my travels. My trip to Africa. Yes! You look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
Oh, so that's it, a nature faker.
Teddy, perhaps you'd better go to bed now. Jonathan and his friend have to get back to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President. Let's go to Panama.
Bully! Right this way, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Aunt Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, there's a very nice little hotel just
Aunt
3
Martha,
blocks
this
down
is
the
my
road.
home.
I'm afraid you can't stay here. We need the rooms.
You need the rooms?
For our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
Well, not just now, but we intend to have some.
Then my old room's still free.
But there's no room for Dr. Einstein.
He can share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm sorry, but you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remembered this afternoon that as a boy, I could be disagreeable. Now, it wouldn't be very pleasant for any...
Perhaps we'd better let them stay here just tonight.
Well, yes, just one night.
That's settled. Now get our room ready.
It only needs airing.
We keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
You have a most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill. But you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Oh, he can't operate on you here.
Oh, when Dr. Einstein and I get organised, that is, when we we resume practice, I forgot to tell you. We're turning grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. Expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, we will not allow you to turn this house into a hospital.
Hospital? Good heavens, no. It will be a beauty parlour.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar.
Dr. Einstein, my dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, what was just for tonight?
We'll get up, room ready now immediately.
Well,
Hey, Johnny, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
Yeah, it just fits Mr. Spinazzo. It's a whole teddy dark. It's 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there?
Yeah. You think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinazzo along? That's hospitality.
Rather a good joke of my aunt's at that. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
Yeah, how do we get him in?
Yes. Well, we can't just walk him in through the door. We'll drive the car up between the house and the cemetery. Then when they've gone to bed, we'll get Mr. Spinazzo in through the window.
Ah, bed. Just think, we got a bed tonight, Johnny.
Easy, Doctor. Remember, you're operating tomorrow. This time you better be sober.
I think you are beautiful,
And
Johnny.
if you don't,
Jonathan, your room is ready.
then you two can run along to bed. We're bringing the car up behind the house.
Oh, it's all right where it is for tonight.
I wouldn't want to leave it on the street. That might be against the law.
Oh, Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay in this house for more than one night, for one thing. What would the neighbours think? People coming in here with one face and going out with another.
But what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Can't be very comfortable for him in there. And he's been so patient. Well, we better get Teddy to take him downstairs right away.
Oh, Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no. We'll wait until they've gone to bed and then we'll come down and hold the services.
General Gertrude was very pleased. He said the canal was just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Oh dear, this will come as a shock to the General.
Then we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, we mustn't tell him. It would spoil his visit.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't have any choice, Aunt Abby. Army regulations, you know, he must be told.
No, Teddy. We must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret.
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, let's see. How are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, you go back downstairs, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come up and take the poor gentleman down to Panama. Now, go along.
And then we'll come down and hold services.
You may announce that the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
Oh, dear me, it seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Martha, when they come back, let's see if we can persuade them to go to bed straight away.
Yes. And then by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed ready for the funeral. Abby, I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, now you have, you won't hear. Come. He's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're just bringing the luggage through here.
Jonathan, your room's ready. You can go right up.
Well, I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you two run along to bed.
You must be very tired, both of you. And we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. Perhaps it's time I came home and took care of you.
Well, we weren't planning to go until...
Aunt Martha, did you hear me say to go to bed? The instruments can go to the laboratory in the morning. Now then, we're all going to bed.
Well, you go upstairs and I'll turn up the light.
Just a flight up there, Doctor. Run along, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be there in a moment.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights. You go around outside and I'll open the window and then you can push him through.
No, Johnny, he's too heavy for me. You go outside and push, and I stay here and pull, yes? And then, so together we get him down to Panama, yeah?
All right then, I'll go around outside. I'll take a look around. When I tap on the frame, you open the window.
Yeah, all right. Who left this open, Dummkopf? Johnny, okay. Allez. Oh, God.
Get the...
Hang on a minute. You lost a leg somewhere there.
Get the shoulder.
Yeah. All right, I got him now. Oh, my God. Come on. Johnny, that was me. I slipped, Johnny.
Be more careful.
Well, he lost a shoe somewhere there. All right. Oh, Johnny. All right, I got him. Johnny, there's someone at the door. Go quick. No. I managed here. Go quick, yeah?
Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
And who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, turn on the lights. You chose rather an untimely moment for a social call.
I think you should tell me what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You do not live here. I'm in this house almost every day and I've never seen either of you.
And
Where's Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done with them?
then perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein?
a surgeon of great distinction and something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me you're
I'm
Boris...
Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
Oh, I see you've heard of me.
Just this afternoon for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Nothing. Just that there was a brother called Jonathan. That's all they said. Well, that explains everything
And that explains everything. Just what do you mean by that? And what are you doing here at this time of night?
Well, I saw someone prowling around outside, but I suppose it was you.
You saw someone prowling around outside.
Yes, isn't that your car out there?
You saw someone at the car.
Yes.
What else did you see?
Well, just someone walking around near the car in the cemetery.
What else did you see?
Look, that's all I saw. I came over here to tell Miss Abby to call the police, but if it was you, and that's your car, then I could just be running along.
And what was the man doing at the car?
Look, I don't know.
I think you're lying.
I think she's saying the truth, Johnny, but it's a go now.
No, I think she's lying. Breaking into people's houses at this time of night. I think she's dangerous. She shouldn't be allowed around.
Oh, get your head off me, you...
Doctor!
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
Well, that's my daughter, Alice.
What?
No,
Teddy, no!
Doctor! Your handkerchief!
the setup.
What's happening? What's happening down here? What's going on down there?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Now go back to your rooms.
We'll call the police.
Yes.
We've called the police. We'll handle this. Go back to your rooms. Why are you wearing mosquito netting?
To the Nora Bay's Theatre, and I should have known better. My God, I'm still there.
It's your brother Jonathan here and Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare. What is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
I know, who did you say this was?
It's your brother, Jonathan. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan. You always were a horror, but did you have to look like one?
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Mortimer, have you forgotten the things I used to do to you when we were boys? The time you were tied to the bedpost, the needles under the fingernails.
Oh, Jonathan, it is you. Yes, I remember you, of course. I remember you as the most vile, detestable piece of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you two boys start quarrelling. The minute you've seen each other.
Abby, there's not going to be any fight. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Well, not in this house, you haven't.
We did invite them for one night.
I don't want you anywhere near.
Well, we've invited them, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
Fine, they can stay for one night, but they've got to get out in the morning and... Where are they going to sleep?
We put them in Jonathan's old room.
Jonathan's old room? That's my old room. I'm sleeping there.
Oh, I'm so glad, Mortimer.
Johnny, we sleep down here, yeah?
Oh, you bet your life we sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat, yeah?
You know what? Let's not argue about this. You can sleep upstairs, and I'll sleep down here on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument about Mr. makes me think of Mr.
Spinoza. Oh. Well now, Mortimer, it really isn't necessary to inconvenience you like this. We'll sleep down here.
Jonathan, your sudden concern for me is just a bit unconvincing.
Come along, Johnny. We get the things out of our room, yeah?
Don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinoza.
Who's this Mr. Spinoza?
Well, just a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for, yeah?
Well, don't bring him in here.
Explain everything to you.
Mortimer, you don't need to sleep down here. I'll go in with Martha, and you can have my room.
No trouble at all, Aunt Abby. We'll be packed in a few minutes. And then, Mortimer, you can have your room.
You're wasting your time, Jonathan. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer!
What's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed!
Abby! Martha!
Oh, no, it was Jonathan. He mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Oh, I'm frightened of him.
Dear, you're trembling. Do you have any smelling salts?
No, but how about some hot tea or coffee?
Yeah, coffee, yeah. And one for me, too. Actually, and some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
Oh, I'll make something for both of you.
Yes.
Were you going somewhere? My goodness, it's after 12. 12. So, Elaine, it's time for you to go home.
What? No, but we said we'd make some sandwiches and some tea.
Yes. We'll put our hats down here. That's what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. Yeah. And remember, we're going to celebrate your engagement. And I'll open a bottle of wine.
Yes.
No wine.
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean? What's going on in this house?
It's been a very strange evening. First you invite me to the theatre, and then you cancel, and then you propose to me, and I say yes, and you want to throw me out of the house. And then your brother tries to strangle me, and you just want me to go home. I mean, Mr. Brewster, be straight with me. Do you even love me?
Elaine, I love you very much. And that's why I can't marry you.
Are you crazy?
No, but it's only a matter of time. You see, madness doesn't just run in my family, it practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
No, you're going to have to do better than that.
There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. It's like this stringed bird had written hell's a poppin'.
Well, just because Teddy's a little bit...
No. This goes way back to the first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower. You know, back in those days, the Indians, they used to scalp the settlers. He used to scalp the Indians.
Well, that's ancient history.
It was my grandfather. He used to test out his patent medicine on dead bodies to make sure it wouldn't kill them.
Well, he couldn't have been totally crazy. I mean, he made $1 million.
Then there was Jonathan. You said he was a maniac. You said he tried to kill you.
Yes, but that's your brother. That's not you.
Brother? Teddy thinks he's bloody Roosevelt. Oh, no, Brewster should marry. I know now. If I had been able to go back and stop my father, I would have.
But what about your aunts? They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever met.
Yes. Even they have their eccentricities.
But such lovely eccentricities. Kindness, sympathy, generosity.
There's another one!
Oh, there's plenty more. There's nothing you can tell me about your aunts.
I'm not going to. Listen, Elaine, you'll have to run along home now because something has just come up.
What's come up? We're in this room all alone.
Just put it down to me being a mad Brewster.
If you think you can pretend to be insane to get out of marrying me, well then, you're crazy. You might not want to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, don't...
Well, if you love me, will you get out of here?
Well, at least walk me home. I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little nighttime stroll through a cemetery?
Well, at least give me a kiss goodnight.
Good night, dear. We'll call you up in about you.
You critic!
Oh, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
Now, please.
What is it? Where's he?
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to let anybody else in the house while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan just walked.
I'm not talking about Jonathan.
And Dr. Einstein.
And I'm not talking about Dr. Einstein. Who's that in the window seat?
Mr. Hoskins, we told you.
That is not Mr. Hoskins.
Oh. Who could that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen that man before?
I certainly am. Why, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody thinks they can walk into this house.
Aunt Abby, you don't give me that. That's another one of your gentlemen.
Oh, no, he isn't. The man's an imposter. And if he's come here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
Aunt Abby, you already admitted you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
I did.
Well, this fellow didn't just get the idea from Mr. Hoskins. Where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
You buried him?
Not yet. We're waiting for the services. We haven't had a minute, what, with Jonathan in the house. Oh, dear, we always wanted to hold a double funeral, but I will not read services over a total stranger.
Oh, Aunt Abby, how am I supposed to believe? You already admitted that you poisoned the other men down there.
Yes, I did. And you don't think I'm telling a fib, do you? Martha? Martha?
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Listen, well, that's about all you've got time for, Jonathan, because I've decided it's time for you and your doctor friend to get out of here as far away as possible.
Mortimer, I'm glad you recognise the fact that you and I can't live together under the same roof, that you've arrived at the wrong solution. Get your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan, you're really beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand here in Brooklyn. Move on.
Mortimer, just because you've graduated from the back fence to the typewriter Don't think you've grown up. I'm staying and you're leaving, and I mean now.
If you think that I'm scared of you, if you think that I'm frightened...
Mortimer, I've led a very strange life, but it's taught me one thing, and that's to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look what's in the window seat.
No, Abby.
Jonathan, would you like to show Aunt Martha what's in the window seat? No. I'm sorry, Aunt Tabby. I owe you an apology. Good news, though. Jonathan's just leaving, and him and Dr. Einstein are going to be bringing their cold companion with them. No? Oh, go on, Jonathan. I'm giving you a sporting chance as a Brewster. No? Oh, maybe you need some help. Maybe the police might be able to give you some assistance.
Don't you reach for that telephone. Are you still giving me orders after seeing what happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
Just remember, what happened to Mr. Spinalzo can happen to you too.
I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, well, we're about to have a cup of coffee. Why don't you join us?
Oh, I forgot the coffee.
Oh, and I'd better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by now, Mr. O'Hara.
You needn't bother. I'm due to ring in a minute.
Oh, you gonna hang around for a cup of coffee? Jonathan's almost gone.
You know, I'm sure I've seen a photo of your brother before.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, his face seems familiar to me.
Yes, it is the sort of thing you might see in a movie.
I don't go to movies. I hate them. My mother says them's a bastard art.
Yes, yeah, they are full of them. Your mother said that.
Yeah, my mother was an actress. A stage actress. Perhaps you've heard of her. Peaches Latour.
Yeah, I think I might have read her name on a program somewhere. What was she in?
Well, her big hit was Mutt and Jeff. Played it 3 years running. You know, I was born on tour.
You were?
Yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born right there in the dressing room in the second act, and Mother still went on to make the finale.
What a trooper. I bet there was a story in your mother. You know, I write about the theatre.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
I am.
Oh, this is fate. You know, Mr. Brewster, you and me's in the same line of work.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Oh, this being on the police force is just temporary.
Oh, how long have you been on the police force?
12 years. I'm collecting material for a play.
Oh, I'll bet it's a honey.
It ought to be, with all the drama I see being a cop. Mr. Brewster, you ain't got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
No, I think I do.
Oh, say, what time have you got?
Oh, it's 10 past 1.
Oh, gee, I'd better get away.
Oh, hang on, O'Hara. To say, maybe I could help you with that play of yours.
You would? Oh, gee, this is luck. Okay, so, I'll tell you the plot.
Jonathan, yes. Jonathan, yes. Hurry, Jonathan. Yes, you've got all your things. Yes, good. Jonathan's just leaving.
Well, everything's just about ready. Oh, you're leaving, Jonathan. Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Doesn't this case belong to you?
Yeah. Yes, don't forget to take all of your things, Jonathan. Anyway, Officer O'Hara, Jonathan's just leaving, so if, you might want to run along now. And
I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
You just offered to help me with my play, didn't you? You and me's gonna write my play together.
Oh, look, O'Hara, I'm not really a creative writer.
That's fine. I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
Hey, listen, O'Hara.
No, sir. I'm not leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
In that case, Mortimer, we'll be running along.
Oh, don't you try that. You can't go until you've gotten all of your things, don't you know? Listen, O'Hara, my brother Jonathan
I
just
shouldn't
leaving.
wait. I've waited 12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry I took so long. What? Bring that in here.
Officer O'Hara, won't you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen? Jonathan's leaving. Oh, well, that's nice. Come right along, Officer O'Hara. You don't mind eating in the kitchen?
Where else would you eat?
Goodbye, Jonathan. It's been really nice meeting you again.
It's nice having you here in Brooklyn, Jonathan. Gives me the chance to kick you out. The first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinelzo.
Look, Mr. Brewster, we can talk down here.
Yes, it's coming right in.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
I'll get going. All three of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and I has got to be settled.
No, Charlie, we got enough trouble. Your brother gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask?
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Oh, come on, let's get going, yeah?
No, we're staying here.
But Johnny, we have trouble enough, as I told you. Here's what we're gonna do. You change your mind, yeah?
Well, if you're thinking about Mr. Spinelzo,
Yeah.
then that's the only thing he's got on us.
No, we got a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinelzo in the window seat.
That's not a problem. We can take Mr. Spinelzo down and dump him in the bay. And we'll come right back here. If he tries to interfere...
Now, Johnny...
Doctor, look at me. You know when I've made up my mind.
I know when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you, Johnny.
Doctor...
Okay, we gotta stick together, okay? Someday we're gonna get stuck together, huh? If we're coming back here, do we have to take the bags with us?
No, leave them here.
Yeah.
Hide them in the cellar. Move fast. Spinelzo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What's the matter?
You know that hole in the cellar?
Yes?
We got an ace in the hole. Come on, I'll show you.
Jonathan? Jonathan? Jonathan?
Yes, Mortimer?
Oh, I thought I told you to get out.
We're not going.
Oh, you're not, are you? Well, maybe I should just let Mr. O'Hara know what's here in the window seat.
We're staying right here.
Fine. That's fine. This gets rid of you and Officer O'Hara. Officer O'Hara, would you come in here, please?
If you tell Officer O'Hara what's in the window seat, we'll tell him what's in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes, there's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be very dead.
Well, what are you doing poking around down in the cellar?
What's he doing down in the cellar?
No, thank you, ma'am. They was fine. I've had plenty.
Now, Mortimer, what are you going to say to O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear it too. Shall I get them in here?
No, you've got to ring in, Officer O'Hara. So, how about we meet up someplace else, someplace later?
Somewhere like the back room of Kelly's?
Yes, like the back room of Kelly's, yes.
Why don't you two go down in the cellar?
That's all right with me. Was it just by the kitchen?
No, because you've got to go ring in. So you go to Kelly's and I'll meet you there.
All right, that'll only take a minute.
Oh, I'm going to ditch this guy and be back here in 10 minutes. I want to see all three of you gone. Actually, on second thoughts, wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a great many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where we want him. Did he look guilty?
Doctor, take the bags back up to our room.
Oh, have they gone?
Oh, just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any food left in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
Oh, but you won't have time.
No. If you're still here when Mortimer comes back, he won't like it.
He like it. He's got to like it.
Yes, there's a friend of Mortimer's waiting downstairs for him.
A friend of Mortimer's?
Yeah, that's right. He and Mr. Spinelzo will get along fine together. They're both dead.
They must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know about what's downstairs?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. Now,
He's one of our gentlemen.
You
Yes.
gentlemen.
Yes, and we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hosky.
Mr. Hoskins is no stranger.
no. So, you can't bury Mr. Spinalzo down there. You've just got to take him with you.
And why? Is there
There's
something...
no room down
There's
the
no
cellar.
room. There's no room. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded with what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
Yes, and we're going to need them.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered...
Murder? Oh, no. It's one of our charities.
You've done that.
Why, what we do is a mercy.
You've done that. Here, in this house. And you buried them down there.
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
Well, you've got 12 and they've got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12.
13. There's Mr. Spinalzo. And then there's the first one in London. There's 2 in Johannesburg. There's 1 in Sydney. There's 1 in Melbourne. There's 2 in San Francisco. And there's 1 in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
Yes, the filling station. And then there's the 3 in Chicago. And finally, the 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
But Johnny, you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
Well, he wouldn't have died of pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, he died of pneumonia. He don't count.
He counts with me. I say 13.
No, Johnny, you got 12 and they got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily taken care of. All I need is 1 more. That's all. Just 1 more.
Well, here I
Now you stop doing that. This is our house and this is our cellar. and you can't
go
do it.
back upstairs where you belong.
You might as well stop doing what you're doing because it just has to be undone. You can't. You'll find out whose house this is. Now. Oh, just you wait.
Oh, I'm telling you, you can't do it. Is there Mortimer back here?
No.
Oh, it's a terrible thing to do. To bury a good Christian with a foreign.
Oh, I will not have our cellar desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian burial.
Oh, I don't know where Mortimer's gone, but
No.
he must be doing something because I heard him say to Jonathan, "You just wait, I'll settle this."
Well, he can't very well settle it if he's not in the house. And that's what we want settled, what's going on down there.
All right. Now, where's Teddy?
Where have you been, Mortimer?
Oh, I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. I've got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers right here.
Mortimer, what's the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan's doing down in the cellar?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo in together.
Oh, God, is he? Oh, well, let him. Is Teddy upstairs?
Teddy won't be any help.
Look, if I can get Teddy's signature on these commitment papers, then I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they got to do with it?
You just have to go and tell Jonathan about those 12 graves down in the cellar. If I can make Teddy responsible, I can keep you safe, don't you see?
No, I don't think. We pay taxes to have the police look after us.
I'll be upstairs.
Martha, we're going for the police.
The police? You can't go for the police!
Why can't we?
Because if you go to the police about Mr. Spinalzo, they'll find Mr. Hoskins. That might make them curious, not find the other 12 gentlemen.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. And I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
if they found all those bodies, they'd have to report into headquarters.
Oh, I don't think they'd bother. After all, they'd have to write a very long report. And if it's one thing police hate to do is to write.
Okay, so you can't count on that, and it might leak out, and you can't expect a judge and a jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
And we know him very well.
Oh, yes, he always comes to church to pray, just before election.
And he's coming to tea one day. He promised.
Yes, Abby, we must speak to him about that. His wife died a few years ago and left him ever so lonely.
No, you can't do this. You can't go to the police, and you can't have Judge Coleman to dinner.
Why can't we?
Okay, now, I need to go upstairs and see Teddy. Okay, I need to get his signature on these commitment papers, okay? And before the police get here, I want to be ready for
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Will you please handle this my way?
Well, if he's not out of this house by morning, we are going to call the police.
Oh, he'll be out of here. I can promise you that. Will you please just go to bed and for God's sakes get changed? You look like Judith Anderson.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it, Abby?
Well, if he's really going to do something about it at last, because that's what we want done. Anyway, he's wasting, it means
Wasting his time, yes.
He's wasting his time and we'll have to tell him.
Yes.
Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
Oh, it's all done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it'll just have to be undone. If you're not out of here by morning, Mortimer is going to be very angry.
Really?
Yes, he promised.
He promised that what? He'd get rid of us?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, and he has a way of doing it too.
Well, in that case, you two run off to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come.
Good night, aunties.
Oh, not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. If you're not out, when we get up in the morning, you'll be out of this house. Mortimer promised.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Then perhaps you'd better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Oh, yes. I'll see Mortimer.
Phew, that's all fixed up. Smooth like a lake. Nobody would ever know as if we're down there.
You're forgetting, Doctor.
Put it over the sleep, Johnny. Let's go up to bed, yeah?
You're forgetting my brother Mortimer.
Oh, Johnny, not tonight, huh?
Yes, tonight, now.
No, please, Johnny, not tonight. I'm tired and tomorrow I got to operate.
Doctor, look at me. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
Oh, yeah, I can see. I know that look.
Doctor, it's a little late for us to be dissolving our partnership, isn't it?
Okay, we do it, but the quick way, the quick twist, like in London.
No, Doctor. I think this calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
Oh no, Johnny, not that. 2 hours? Oh my God.
Yes, Doctor.
It took 2 hours. You know, the fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne. Oh
We had to work too fast. In London, there is no aesthetic satisfaction in it. But Melbourne, now there was something to remember.
Oh, remember. Oh, I wish I didn't, Johnny. No, Johnny, not me. Not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, Doctor. Now where are the instruments?
Oh, I won't tell you.
Doctor, get your instruments.
No, Johnny.
Now where are they? Where did you hide them? Yes, in the cellar.
No, I won't tell you.
I'll find them, Doctor. I'll find them.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be a secret proclamation.
A secret proclamation?
Yes.
How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's been signed.
Japan! Oh, those yellow devils. I'll sign it right away. You have my word. I can let the cabinet know later.
Yes, let's go sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
Oh, but at once, Mr. President.
I'll have to put on my signing clothes.
waiting for something. Something important.
Please, you go, yeah?
No, listen, Einstein. I've got nothing against you personally. If I was you, I'd get out of this house and as far away as possible.
But yeah, you get away now.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you, get out quick, come on.
Things are about to start popping around here in a minute.
Listen. Johnny is in a bad mood. He's like this, he's like a madman. Things happen, terrible things.
Jonathan doesn't bother me now.
Oh my God, was soll ich denn mit Idioten drauf machen? Don't those plays you see teach you anything?
What?
Well, at least the people in plays act like they got sense. That's more than you do.
Oh, they do they? People in plays act like they've got sense. My God, if you have to sit through some of the drivel that I have to sit through. Oh, God, take this all opus I had to watch tonight. In this, there's an intelligent fellow in that play. You know he's intelligent because they told us. But there he is, in a house with murderers. Is he scared? Does he leave? No. Does that sound like something an intelligent person would do to you, Doctor?
You're asking me?
Oh, my God, he's just there yapping away with the murderer. And the murderer just invites him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
What does he do?
He just sits down. Mind you, this fellow's supposed to be bright. Oh, and God, he's just there, just waiting to be tied up and gagged. Oh, what do you think they tied him up with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Oh, good idea. Very convenient.
Oh, a little too convenient, Doctor. And one of these playwrights going to need a little bit of imagination. I mean, really, the curtain cord.
You didn't see him get it?
See him? He just sat with his back to him the whole time. Oh, God, and they say that critics are killing the theatre, playwrights who are killing the theatre, and this intelligent fellow, there he is, just sitting, waiting to be tied up in a gap. Oi! Oi!
You're right about that fella. He wasn't very bright.
Oh, and now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story for you. Mortimer, I've been away for 20 years, but never once in all that time, my dear brother, were you out of my mind. Why, in Melbourne one night, I dreamt of you. And when I landed in San Francisco, I had a strange sense of satisfaction. Once more, I was in the same country as you. And now, Doctor, we can go to work.
Please, Charlie, for me is a quick way, yeah?
No, Doctor. This must really be an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing before a very distinguished critic.
Johnny!
Doctor.
Okay, let's get it over with.
Doctor, I'm ready for you.
I can't do this without a drink. I got to have a drink, Johnny.
Doctor, pull yourself together.
I got to have a drink. When we arrived yesterday afternoon, there was wine here somewhere, remember? Ah, wait, there is it. There is it. Johnny, we got a drink. We got a drink. Oh, that's all it is. But I split it with you, yeah? Get the bit. There you go.
Wait a moment, Doctor. Where are your manners, please? Mortimer, I realise now it was you who brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother. Damn that idiot! He goes next! That's all, he goes next!
No, Johnny, no, Teddy, that's where I stop. Come down, come.
We'll get to Teddy later.
Yeah, we won't get him at all. Come.
Now we have to work fast.
Yeah, the quick way.
Yes, Doctor, the quick way.
Hey, the Colonel's got to quit blowing that horn.
It's all right, officer. We're taking the bugle away from him.
There's going to be hell to pay in the morning. We promised the neighbours he wouldn't do that no more.
It's okay. It won't happen again. Officer, good night.
I'll have to speak to him. Is he up in his room? Hey, you stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
Well, he was explaining that the show he saw tonight. That's what happens as a fella ends a play, huh?
Did they have that in the play you saw tonight? Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. You see, in my second act, just before the... No, I should start at the beginning. Okay, so it opens up in my mother's dressing room, where I was born. What? Oh, yeah, I should... No, you have to hear the plot first. Okay, so, she's sitting there, making up, see, when, all of a sudden, a man with a big black mustache walks through the door, turns to my mother, and he says, Miss LaShaw, will you marry me? He don't know she's pregnant. Okay, so, there she is, lying unconscious on the table in her lingerie. The villain is standing over her with a hatchet. I'm tied up in the chair like you are. The building is an inferno of flames. It's on fire. But then, all of a sudden, through the window, in comes Malagarja. Hey, go easy on that. Remember who's paying for it.
I'm listening, ain't I?
So, what do you think so far?
Well, it put Johnny to sleep.
Now, well, let him alone. If he don't care enough to listen, then he don't get a drink. Okay, so, it's 3 days later. I've been transferred, and I'm under charges. That's because someone stole my badge. Okay, so, there I am, walking my beat on Staten Island, 46th precinct. When, turns out the guy I'm following is really following me. So, I figures I'll outsmart him. There's a vacant house in the corner. I goes in the dark. I see the door handle slowly turn. So, I break myself against the wall. I draws my guns, and I says, come in. Oh, hello.
What the hell is going on here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's gonna write my play with me.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen? Look, you better report in at the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
We didn't know you were here. We came to warn the old ladies that there's hell to pay. Colonel's been blowing that bugle again in the middle of the night. Lieutenant's on the warpath. He says the Colonel's going to be put away someplace.
Yes. Oh, gee, Mr. Brewster, I better get away. So, I'll just run the third act quick. Get him away from me.
Say, do you know what time it is? It's after 8 in the morning.
Is it? Oh, gee, Mr. Brewster. Them first 2 acts run a little long, but I can't think of anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out.
Hey, who's that guy on the sofa?
It's my brother, Jonathan.
Oh, the one that ran away. So he came back.
Yes, he came back.
Hello, this is Burpee. Debbie Mack. I'd better let them know you're here. Hello, yes? We found O'Hara in the Brewster house. Do you want us to bring him in? Alright, we'll hold him right here. Lieutenant's on his way over.
So, I've been turned in, eh? All right then. You've bought me, and I suppose that you and that stool-pigeon brother of mine are going to share the reward.
Reward?
Well, now I'll do some turning in. You think my aunts are sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
What the hell are you talking about?
You better watch what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be good friends of ours.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. You come down to the cellar with me.
Wait a minute.
Don't you want to see what's down in the cellar?
Oh, just go in the cellar with him.
13 bodies.
I don't think I want to go down to the cellar with him. Look at that puss. It looks like Boris Karloff. Oh, hey, what the hell? Hey, get off of me. Well, what do you know about that? Come in.
What are you man doing here? I told you I was going to handle this. What happened here? Did he put up a fight?
Oh, no, this isn't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. Trying to kill O'Hara.
Well, I did what I say. He looked like Boris Karloff.
Oh, yeah? Turn him over.
We kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere? Look, if you guys can't pay attention to the bulletins we put up at the station, well, at least you could read True Detective. Certainly he's wanted in Indiana. He escaped from a prison for the criminally insane. He's a lifer, for Christ's sake. And that's how he was described. He looks like Karloff.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Certainly. And I'm claiming.
He was showing us down the cellar.
He said there was 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies buried? And that didn't tip you off that he comes from a nut house?
Well, I mean, I thought all along he talked kinda crazy.
Shakespeare, yeah. And where have you been all night? Don't bother with him.
I've been here all night, sir. I was writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to have plenty of time to write that play now. You're suspended. And get a haircut.
Can I at least come by and use the station's typewriter?
No. Now, get this guy out of here and bring him to. See what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy who helped him escape. He's wanted too. Jeez, no wonder Brooklyn's in the state it's in with flatheads like you in the police force. Fancy believing that story, 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
And who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What the hell is this?
Oh, he's the guy that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Oh, dear me. Another yellow fever victim.
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
Oh, no, Mr. President. This is a spy we caught in the White House.
Can you get that guy out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies to be done, that's my department.
What are you, remove us now?
Sorry,
Leave
sir.
the rug and take the mug.
You forget, as president, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
You keep out of this.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
Sorry, I wanted to talk to you about my brother, the one that blew the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we've got nothing to talk about. He's got to be put away.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, I've got Teddy's commitment papers signed right here by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician, and by me as next of kin, and by Teddy himself.
Okay, so where's he gone?
Happy Dale.
All right, so I don't really care where he goes, so long as he goes.
Oh, he's going all right. Now, I just wanted to let you know, though, that everything that's happened around here, Teddy did it. Now, about those 13 bodies in the cellar.
Oh, those 13 bodies in the cellar. Look, it ain't enough that he blows that bugle and disturbs the peace, and that he's got the neighbours scared of him. But can you imagine what would happen if that crazy story about 13 bodies in the cellar was to get out? And now he wants to start a yellow fever scare? Cute, ain't it?
Oh, but you won't believe that. 13 bodies in the cellar.
Well, you never know. Some people are just dumb enough. You know, about a year ago, I had a crazy guy start a murder rumour over in Greenpoint. I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to show that he was a fraud.
Will you excuse me?
Certainly.
Oh, hello, darling.
Good morning, Mortimer. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's here to see Teddy.
See Teddy.
Mr. Witherspoon is from Happydale Sanitarium.
Oh, yes! Mr. Witherspoon! Great to meet you. Mr. Witherspoon, this is Captain...
Lieutenant Rooney. Boy, I'm glad you're here. You're taking him with you today.
What? Today? Nobody told me that.
No, not today.
Oh, listen, Lane. Look, I'm very busy right now, so if you just run along home and I'll just call you home.
I didn't realise it was so immediate.
Oh, well, the papers are all signed, so you can go today.
Complete insubordination! You men will find out that I am no mollycoddle when the President of the United States is treated like this. What is the country coming to?
There's your man, Suba.
I'll handle this one. Mr. President, I have excellent news. Today, your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Ah, practically.
Well, now, let me see. Now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. I must go and get all my equipment. Is he trying to move into the White House before I've moved out?
Who's that, Teddy?
Taft!
That's not Taft, Teddy. That's Mr. Witherspoon. He'll be your guide to Africa.
Oh, bully! That's just bully! I'll go and get all my equipment. When the caravan comes, tell them to wait. Oh! Aunt Annie! Aunt Martha! I am off to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Oh, we have visitors.
Hello, darlings. This is Lieutenant Rooney.
How do you do, Lieutenant? Oh, my, you don't look like the fuss budget the policemen say you are.
Oh, yeah. You see, the lieutenant is here because, you know, Teddy blew his bugle again last
Oh,
night.
we're going to speak to him about that.
It's a little bit more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
Yes, and this is Mr. Witherspoon, the superintendent of Happydale.
How do you do, Mr. Witherspoon?
Oh, you've come to meet Teddy.
No, he's come to take him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The police would like Teddy to go to Happydale today.
Oh,
No, we won't allow it.
not while we're alive.
Sorry, Miss Brewster. The papers are all signed and it has to be done. So he's going to go with the superintendent.
No, we won't allow it. We promised to take the bugle away from him.
Yes, we won't be separated from Teddy.
Sorry, but the law is the law. He's committed himself and he's going.
Well, if he goes, we're going too.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Why not?
It's lovely of them to want to come, but to be with him, but unfortunately we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live with Teddy at Happydale, we'll see that it's included in our will for a very generous amount.
The Lord knows we could certainly use the money with all our empty beds, but...
Let's be sensible about this, please, ladies. After all, here I am wasting my morning when I've got serious work to do. You know there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that's awful.
It ain't just the blowing of the bugle and that he's got all the neighbours scared of him, but he's only going to get worse, and sooner or later, we're going to have to dig up your cellar. Yeah, well, your nephew's been going on about 13 bodies being buried in your cellar.
Oh, there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
If that's why you think Teddy needs to go away, then come down and we'll show you.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down into the cellar. He was just telling me that just last year he had to dig up a whole half-acre lot, weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Well, you won't have to dig here. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers. Right. Listen, Super, can't you make room for these two ladies?
Look, just come down and we'll show you the graves.
I'll take your word for it. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
Well, they'd have to be committed.
But Teddy committed himself. Can't they just commit themselves?
Why, certainly, yes.
Oh, well, if we can come and live with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Yes. Oh, I've got papers.
Where are they? Where are they?
He's coming round, Lieutenant.
My papers with me here.
Just so you know, ma'am, Brophy and me's got your other nephew out in the kitchen.
Oh.
Okay, sign him up, sign him up. I want to get this case closed. 13 bodies.
Where do I sign?
Just outside down here.
Okay.
And you there, Aunt Abby?
Oh, I'm so glad we're going. The neighbourhood here has changed so.
Oh, yes. Just think of front lawn again.
Oh, we've forgotten something.
Oh, what?
We need the signature of a doctor.
The talk.
Here's a doctor.
A doctor! Dr. Einstein! Dr. Einstein's a doctor. Dr. Einstein, you're inside.
Please, I must...
Don't be silly, Doctor. You're a wonderful doctor. Why, last night I thought you were going to operate from me. Right this way, Doctor. Yes, right this way. Just so.
Are you leaving, Doctor?
I think I must go now.
Oh, aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Oh, God.
Now you've found this, would you like to read them?
It's good to see you here, Elaine. Oh, you stick around, yeah?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Quickly.
Matt? It's Rooney. Yeah, we picked up that guy. He's wanted in Indiana. Say, there's a description of his accomplice on my desk. Yeah. Read it to me, will you?
Bus excursion.
Yeah. Caucasian, 5'8", 150 pounds, blue eyes, right. Yep. Oh, and speaks with a German accent. And passes himself off as a doctor. Okay, thanks, Matt.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor's signed these, and it's just the next of kin, and they'll be ready to go. You all come. Mr. Brewster?
Gee, thanks, Doc. You've really done Vulcan a service here today.
That makes everything... That's all sorted then. That's all legal.
Yeah, all legal. Yeah, everything's right.
Well, aunties, now you're safe.
When do you think you'll be ready to leave?
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you take Teddy upstairs and show him what he can take along?
Upstairs?
I'll show you.
No, Mortimer, you stay here. We want to talk with you.
Upstairs?
Yes, just up the stairs and turn to the left.
Well, Mortimer, now that we're leaving, this house really is yours.
And we'd very much like you to live here.
Oh, yes. I don't know, aunties. This house might be too full of memories.
Oh, but you'll need somewhere where you and Elaine can live after you're married.
Oh, darling. I think that might be fairly indefinite.
What? We are going to get married right away.
Mortimer, we were really very worried about something.
Oh, don't worry, darling. You're gonna love it at Happy Day.
Oh, yes, we're very happy about the whole thing. That's just it, we don't want anything to go wrong.
Are they going to investigate the signatures?
Oh, no, they're not going to check up on Dr. Einstein.
Oh, it's not his signature we're worried about, dear. It's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Yes, and?
Well, dear, it's something we never wanted to tell you, but now that you're a man, and Elaine should know about this as well, you see, you're not really a Brewster.
You see, your aunt came to us, your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born 3 months later. And she was such a sweet woman and such a good cook. We didn't want to lose her. So brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Oh, don't take it too badly, dear.
And it's all right with you, Elaine?
Elaine, do you understand what this means? I'm a bastard!
Well, I really must see about breakfast.
Oh, no, don't worry about that, darling. Father's going away to Philadelphia for the weekend, so Mortimer's going to come over to my house for breakfast.
Yes, I could use a coffee. I've had a hell of a night.
Oh, well, in that case, I should think we'd want to go to bed, dear.
One moment for the spoon. Take that.
Well, we won't need the wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, you're leaving now, Jonathan.
Yeah, he's going back to Indiana. There are people there who want to take care of him for the rest of his life.
Oh, Jonathan, that's nice that you've got some place to go to.
We're leaving too.
We're going to Happydale.
In this house, you're seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Oh, unless Mortimer wants to live here.
Well, I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn this property over to the church?
Oh,
Never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
Come on, come on.
Well, goodbye, aunties. I can't better my record now, but then neither can you. At least I have that comfort. The score stands even, 12 to 12.
Jonathan always was a mean boy. He never could stand to see anyone get ahead.
I do wish we could show Jonathan he isn't so smart.
Oh, no. Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, do your family live with you at Happydale?
I have no family.
Well, I suppose you consider everyone at Happydale your family.
Oh, I don't think you understand. As head of the institution, I have to remain somewhat aloof.
That must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Master, you can't stay for breakfast with us. Why don't you try a glass of that elderberry wine?
Elderberry wine?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I haven't had elderberry wine since I was a boy.
We make it ourselves.
Yes. You don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. You know, at Happydale, our relationship would have to be much more formal. But here, I thought I had my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
No, here it is.